This is Red, White, and Bluegrass.
There are hopeful signs for Kentucky students in the newest National Assessment of Educational Progress, aptly referred to as the nation's report card, released this week. The assessment happens every 2 years and focuses on reading and math in 4th and 8th graders. Kentucky moved from 29th to 12th in the nation in 4th grade reading. 4th grade math scores also made statistically significant gains, with only 14 other states able to do so. 8th grade math scores remain below the national average, but no subject experienced a decline from the previous report. Education Commissioner Robbie Fletcher says it is too early to tell if these improvements are a trend, but it is one of the first signs that Kentucky students are bouncing back from the learning loss of the pandemic. So let's go ahead and start the conversation. Senator Elkins, what do you think? Are we starting to bounce back from the pandemic?
I'm not sure that we are. I think it's going to take a little more time and to evaluate what we've seen. A lot of what we've seen are other states around us or other states across the nation have declined, and we have seemed to have remained about the same. We did increase about 3 points or 4 points, I think, to a score of 238 in 4th grade math, but the national average is 237, so it's we're average, and I just don't know that we want to celebrate mediocrity. So.
Your thoughts, Representative Moore?
I'm only 40, but even I remember growing up with the statement 49 out of 50, thank goodness, for Mississippi. And I'm not trying to throw that state under the bus at all, but it was something that we said growing up. So mediocrity, while not being something to be celebrated, I hope we can look into this and say something is working. We are, as you said too, Bodie, we are coming up the rankings a little bit. So what are the things we're doing right and where are we still missing on things? Because there's always going to be opportunities to improve, and so I hope that we're going to learn some lessons from that. Absolutely.
In the course of what y'all do, I imagine y'all have had the opportunity to visit schools at some point along the way and interact with students that are learning about government or what have you. And I'm curious, just from your own personal experience interacting with different school children in Kentucky, is there anything that sticks out to you that maybe can kind of give you an indication of where we're at?
So, Bodie, I'll say this. I participated in the Principal for a Day program at every opportunity. I think I did 4 of them this past year. There's not going to be a silver bullet or a good answer. I think it's going to take years to solve this. And I do enjoy watching the trend. I think we are trending upward. I don't think we're where we need to be yet. I think we need to continue to search for different tools in the toolbox to correct this issue. But I do think we're not moving in the wrong direction, I'll say that. So.
Representative Moore, what have you observed?
A lot of the same things. I really have a lot of respect for our teachers, our administrators, the people who work at the schools. Just going and having a 7-year-old son myself, I've gotten the chance to go tour schools when you're looking where he's going to go to pre-K, where he's going to go to elementary school. And so really appreciate those who are doing that work. And I think when we are looking for ways to improve, it doesn't have to be fancy bells and whistles. It's not all new Chromebooks or more funding, but can we make sure that we try to stop gaps before they start with early childhood learning, and can we make sure we're keeping our best teachers in the classroom? I don't think we've got to overcomplicate it. If we can do those couple things, I think that'll go a long way.
We had the Read to Succeed bill that Representative Tipton got through the legislature, I believe, in the past year or two. And he did a similar bill on numeracy, and just from my understanding, those are basically allowing there to be more training for a lot of these teachers that over these kids. We talk about more tools in the toolbox. Are pieces of legislation like that, seeing more of those, going to be helpful? Or are there other tools that we can explore?
So I'll say the Read to Succeed bill and the numeracy bill programs are very good programs. I think they will help. It's too soon yet to tell the effects they're having on our school system, but I do have a lot of confidence in those particular programs for sure.
And then one thing that's really encouraging, in the last year, Kentucky came into Dolly Parton's Imagination Library program, and I think that might put books into the hands of children who may not otherwise have them in the home right now. Hopefully that'll also help that bridge that gap of early learners starting to get books in their hands, learning to read and understanding those phonics.
We got about 30 seconds left as we wrap up here. Any thoughts so far on the job of the new education commissioner about, I guess, a few months in now?
Yep, I think he's doing an outstanding job, and I do want to go back and say that I don't fault our teachers for any of our educational issues. I think we have a lot of other issues. Absenteeism is one that we really have to look to correct, along with digital distractions. We have a lot of that in our classrooms now as well. Robbie Fletcher, Commissioner Fletcher, I think he's doing an outstanding job. I voted to confirm him, and I'm happy I did so.
I'll let you have the last word.
And I'm glad that you brought up absenteeism. It is a real thing. I hope we can address that in the legislature, whether that means fully funding our transportation to and from our public schools so we don't end up in the fiasco that Jefferson County had last year, but also making sure that our kids are well fed at schools. They hopefully gives them even more incentive to be there.